I did it. Volume's still on. Almost did it. Now you gotta fix this. There we go. I'm Dice-a-corn again. You, what you doing? You gonna come join the party? Welcome. That was a lot of work you put in here. I felt like he needed to be represented appropriately.
You couldn't hear it, but I just did a deep sigh.
They might have heard it. I don't know. This mic picks up the craziest things. That's why. Okay. I felt like I was really short, like shorter than normal in the camera. Like I kept feeling like I had to go like this. Because it wasn't. Yeah. So do I. And now that I've said that, I will not do it live because I just made myself nervous.
That's okay. That's okay.
You ready? Oh, wait, what time is it? We got 3 minutes.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Well, we got 3 minutes to let people roll in. So James found out the director is Canadian for Lilo and Stitch.
Fleischer Camp. Wait, I thought he was Canadian. Is this guy American? What is this?
You said Canadian.
I was for sure. I was certain he was Canadian. Apparently, he's from Virginia.
Never mind.
Maybe the first director was Canadian. Is Chris Sanders Canadian?
I know, but we gotta save it for when we're actually recording. Gotta hold it in. James was trying to talk about it before.
Canadian? Dean Dubois is Canadian.
James was trying to talk about it before I even turned the mic on, and I was like, you gotta save it.
Oh, it's because he's a co-director. Okay, so the co-director of the first Lilo and Stitch is Canadian. He is credited as a writer on this
movie. Okay.
And it's only actually because this movie is based on that movie. So he probably didn't actively write any of it.
Okay.
Leave it to the Canadians to keep doing Hawaiian shit. The movie, the pizza. That's all the things. There aren't any other that I'm aware of Canadian things that are Hawaiian.
We still have 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
For what?
We let people roll in. We normally wait 5 minutes. We do some chitter chatter, some witty banter, if you will. This is the witty banter portion of City Waves.
Are all the bitches here?
I don't know.
I'm asking the bitches.
Maybe don't call them that and they'll answer.
Affectionate.
Affectionate. The bitches.
The bitches affectionate.
Did you steal another one of my beers?
No, that's the one you gave me the other day.
Oh, okay.
Because you opened it, took 4 sips, and then fell asleep. And then you woke up at 11:15 and you were like, I touched it to see if I needed to throw it away, and you were like, you can have it. I was like, okay, Jesus. See? Bitches.
No. They do not perpetrate the same crime.
It's an adjacent crime.
There's no ginger kid. Gone.
It's just the native Hawaiian kid beats the shit out of the other Hawaiian kid. And she doesn't even beat the shit out of the kid. Although it would be much more upsetting to watch a fight of non-animated children.
Oh no. I would have paid to see Lilo punch her in the face. It was not nearly as violent as it needed to be. But also they didn't make them nearly as mean as they needed to be. So
this is already wrong.
Where?
the very beginning, they're not on the planet when he's convicted. They're on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Is the ship the planet?
Mm. Let me look, and then we'll start.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Who dares list this as a buddy comedy?
It technically is.
Who are the buddies doing the comedy?
Lilo and Stitch.
They are not buddies. They are pet and owner.
They're buddies. They're best friends.
And those two do not do comedy for the whole time. Yes, in this movie, Lilo and Stitch did remove representation of gingers.
Okay. I think the ship is adjacent to the planet.
Oh, okay.
But the planet is where the Grand Councilwoman is from. It's like where they work. But I bet like maybe the ship is like where the council meets. Something of that nature.
They don't explain, and no one asked.
You just asked.
Well, I asked, but like when they were making the movie, no one asked the question. Otherwise, they would have had to explain it.
All right, you ready?
Oh, I've been fucking ready since last week.
You know, it's been a week. Crazy.
And we've been suffering and agonizing torment waiting to get to this point.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
If I shake my head loud enough, it'll make it onto the recording.
You should probably see a doctor if it does.
It'll be all my bones cracking as my neck breaks and I am removed from the torment of this world. This the world where we are forced to endure the endless rehashings of bygone days of glory media. This the world where we couldn't be bothered to think of new things to make, so we look at old things that are magical in their own way and ask the question, dare to ask the question, hey, what if we fucked this to death? What if we took this legacy media and just fucked it for all the money that there is? Just squeeze it and crush it and destroy all meaning and make worthless the new media. And the CEO of Disney goes, as long as it kills at the box office, and then it does. And we all are worse for it. So Lilo and Stitch.
That's what we watched. This is not Wicked, which it was supposed to be, I know, but we went and saw the Lilo and Stitch remake, and
we saw it for a date. We went on a date to see this movie.
Our 10-year dating anniversary.
We could have gone and watched a good movie. We could have gone to see Sinners.
No.
We could have gone to see a number of other films that were showing in theaters around town.
Those were the only two James could think of.
Yeah, ain't shit come out right now. It's just Sinners. That's the only thing that anyone's talking about that's out right now. But no, America, for all of her life since 2002 when the movie came out, has been fucking obsessed with Lilo and Stitch. The amount of Stitch plushies that live in a grown man's house is borderline problematic. None of them are mine. I do not own any of them. They are all hers. You can see there's one big horrifying blob abomination Stitch sitting over your shoulder in the background, menacing. It's holding a frog and it's menacing.
Angel's right there.
It's hiding under my elbow. So we're pretty intimately familiar with the Lilo and Stitch movie. We both enjoyed it as children. It came out when I was 7, when you were 8. And I mean, that's prime obsess with a cartoon age. So we just, we're well aware of what this movie is supposed to be. And we went and saw it for an anniversary date. And we came out of the theater, I believe, swearing. If I recall correctly, we were just saying swears.
Yes.
I within earshot of an Alamo Drafthouse employee said, "What the hell kind of bullshit was that?"
I think yeah, as we were walking out, it we didn't take notes because we weren't planning on making this episode, but it was
We got to the car and we were like, "We're gonna have to.
it
We
was
can't not."
it was so bad. Um, there's a lot of changes that were made and a lot of things that were taken out and added. The way I phrased it is it feels like they rushed an already very short plot. It's a children's movie, it's not that complicated. And it felt like we rushed through plot points at the speed of sound.
Just to introduce new plot that isn't good.
Yeah. Really.
Honestly, here's an honest review summarized very, very briefly. If they had committed to a shot for shot live action remake and just done the OG movie once again, screened with regular people, right? CG the whole whatever you need to do, right? It would have been the best remake made by Disney to date. Because you would have given people the opportunity to flex their ability to act as a cartoon. And I think that should be a goal when making these live action remakes. Because yeah, the aliens and stuff you have to CG, and that's its own achievement. If you can CG a more realistic iteration of those cartoon aliens and make them look good, fucking bravo. Incredible work.
If you
That's
make them look
artistry.
good.
If you make big if you make them look good. But imagine, if you will, that this movie did that. Shot for shot remake. The actors acted exactly like the cartoon, like because you can make a cartoon based on a person, you can make a cartoon based on a human performance, and it'll be great. It'll be good. It'll be enjoyable. But to model a human performance on a pre-existing cartoon, that's hard. That's like you need legit character actor people. Like you need your Jim Carreys, you need your Robin Williams. These are the guys who could do that sort of over the top, practically animated, but definitely real life performance, right? And I think they cast pretty good
Oh, I think
across the board.
Lilo's great.
Lilo's great. Nani, well, good things and bad things about that casting, but the I don't think anyone in the cast was lacking the talent to perform what would be my idyllic version of this movie. No one's lacking the talent.
I'd agree with that.
But when it comes to the butchering of the plot, the removal of key components of the plot, you find yourself with plot holes. You find yourself with less nice bows on your problems. You find yourself in this place where fans of the original will be left wanting in practically every way. But I'll say this is a big but, and it's the reason the movie made so much money at the box office. If you have no concept of the original movie, it ain't half bad.
Yeah.
It right now, as we record, it is sitting at a 7.0 on IMDb. If it were not a remake and this was just its own original film, I'd say it's probably deserving of that. Maybe a 6.5, just tastes, preferences, and stuff like that for
It's a
me.
cute movie.
It's a cute movie. It's fun. There's a lot of cool things that are in it. There are some moments that are genuinely laugh out loud funny.
It's got the feels.
It's got the feels. It hits nostalgia buttons all over the place. But And it's a big, unsightly but. It's not an original movie. It's a remake of a movie that was really good. And it fucked it to death again and again and again. Over and over for the whole runtime. You're sitting there wishing it was the way it was originally. Now, there are some people in this movie who acted their fucking ass off.
Yeah, Lilo's great.
Hats all the way off to the little girl who played Lilo, whose name I believe is Maya Kiloa,
Yeah.
because Sydney plays Nani. Hats off to the little girl. She did fucking phenomenal.
She's so cute
She's
too.
very cute.
She's the perfect Lilo. Like if you
Yeah.
pictured Lilo in real life, she's perfect.
Hats off also to Billy Magnuson for throwing his whole mind, body, and soul into Bleakley as hard as he fucking could.
He tried to do a voice, like he did. I didn't necessarily like the voice, but he like tried to do something different.
Now, trying, as it turns out, is part of the credit. Because in this movie is also a Hollywood A-lister who did not effort.
No.
And it,
and he has the ability.
For whatever reasons, it just wasn't there. And we're left devastated by a hollow, fucking gaping hole of a performance from Zach Galifianakis,
whose voice is Jumba.
Whose Jumba Jukiba is
it's just Zach talking.
It's just Zach's speaking voice. Now, Zach, titan of comedy, fucking hilarious actor, tremendous ability. Doesn't do an accent, and moreover, doesn't give a shit.
Like, doesn't even try to do a character voice. Like, I could understand maybe you don't do the accent because you don't want to be offensive or whatever, but then at least just do a different voice.
Now, much like how in sports a coach functions to motivate their team, I think some actors can self-motivate, but as a director, it's your job to run your shit. You have to motivate your team. And there's been a lot of drama about the press tour for everything, and Zach Galifianakis kind of talked a little bit of shit about the director, and comments were made, opinions were voiced. Whatever the drama was in production, we are left with a Lilo and Stitch movie where the main antagonist is removed.
Mm-hmm.
That being Captain Gantu.
Just gone.
Just doesn't exist. The main antagonist is then replaced by Jumba Jukiba, who no longer is a sort of lovable pseudo-villain who turns the corner with the infamous interaction with Stitch at the end of the movie. And he's just the fucking bad guy. And what's worse is he's like a monotone, one-dimensional bad guy.
And what's even worse than that is he doesn't even get a redemption arc. So he's just not part of like the family, the Ohana at the end of it anymore.
What fucking Ohana, first of all? Now, up front, I'm from Colorado. That is a landlocked state in the middle of the United States. She is also from Colorado. Once again, a landlocked state in the middle of the United States. Neither of us are native Hawaiians.
I am Native American, partly.
Mm-hmm. So, it's a bit different. Just like, it's just same, but different.
Anyways.
Far be it from us to declare what something means outside of the context of these movies. However, as certified movie people, there are things that are established in the movies, such as what is Ohana? What does that mean for the film? Blah, 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 blah. That I won't say get mistranslated, but rather carved up and rearranged in this movie. So let's go from the beginning to the end, and we're going to keep these episodes short because a lot of the movie is pretty similar to the first Lilo and Stitch.
This is us going to be more like a spot the difference game where we're just going to kind of walk through and talk about what they changed and why it's bad.
I can't think of changes that were good. I yeah, no, I can't think of changes that are good.
I guess the way for me, the way I've been thinking about it is I can think of the changes, how the changes they made could have been good. Like, I think there are ways that they could have done what they wanted to do with the story, like maybe updating it and Nani goes to college and all that. There were routes they could have taken that were better than the ones they decided to take. So,
I doubt we're going to record merely one episode for the movie because I think we're going to get real ranty. But there's not exactly a ton of plot nuance that we're going to get into. So it's going to be a lot less, here's what happens in this scene of the movie, and a lot more, now here's why they've butchered the native Hawaiian tradition. So let's continue. We start the same way we do the original movie, with Jumba being basically indicted for his illegal genetic experimentation to create 626. That's Stitch. So, listen, I have to explain it to people who maybe don't know, you know?
okay, carry on.
So, I haven't even gotten to my most irksome change.
Continue.
I haven't even mentioned it.
I haven't mentioned mine yet either.
Incredible. Juicy tidbits to come. Stitch is shown to be hyper intelligent, indestructible, and also capable of great destruction. However, he cannot escape the glass cylinder that he is trapped in.
He's also smarter than a supercomputer.
Yes, which I think is actually one of the changes that I like a little bit, in that they're more on the nose about it. Like, in the cartoon, you are led to believe that he is smarter than a supercomputer.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, they're like, no, I need you to understand. He's fucking wicked smart. Like, his mind is better than all of yours, and you need to know that. And I like that the movie told me that. I just appreciated it. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. So
no, continue. Go. Carry on.
We said it at the same time, though.
Go.
All right.
You're on a roll. Just go.
So Jumbo is basically found guilty and imprisoned. Stitch is banished to exile for his destructive behavior. They also do a little bit more. I don't remember if this was in the cartoon. You'll have to check me on this because I'm not as familiar with it as you are. I don't recall them mentioning that it's a good thing they're exiling Stitch to a planet that's mostly water because it affects his density and therefore it will eliminate the problem for them.
So they talk about sending Stitch to exile. When he goes to Earth, when he's on his way there,
right? Because he steals the cruiser and
they
jumps there.
Check his trajectory, see that he's going to Earth, and the Grand Councilwoman in the cartoon does say, they explain it a little bit more in the live action, but in the cartoon she basically says, "Oh, he can't survive in water. His molecular density is too great." That she says that line.
Okay.
But in this live action, they then explain what that means to someone. So
a bit more on the nose about like how dark it actually is, that he's basically crash landing onto a planet where he will sink and drown. Although I'm slightly convinced that Stitch maybe can breathe underwater. And maybe Nani also can breathe underwater. It's not clear.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Oh, the end of this movie sucks.
So
It sucks so bad.
Jumba. First of all, I need to talk about it because
Talk about it.
Before
what horrid monstrosity this is.
Oh, he's okay.
He's an ugly alien in the cartoon, to be clear.
Yeah, but he's not repulsive.
Yeah, he's just like, ew, look at it.
Like Jumba, it looks like a hairy purple potato. And that's like the best way I can say it. It's uncomfortable to look at. It looks AI generated. If you gave an AI a prompt to like, because I watch a lot of these, sorry, I know your feelings, but I watch a lot of these things where they turn cartoons into like realistic beings, like real life and live action. And there's a whole AI market for that. Jumba looks like if you plugged Jumba Jukiba into an AI image maker and movie maker, and that's what you got.
Listen, I love cooking the planet just as much as the next hypercapitalist, but Jumba is an atrocity to the eyes. And maybe they decided he had to be because now he's taking the role of main villain, but it just is. When he's on screen, you want to look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like
you good?
I'm trying to come up with, you know how in the movie Barbie, when Margot Robbie is on screen, you're not paying attention to what else is happening on screen.
Yeah.
Which is how the way they made the movie. It's like that in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
If Jumba's on screen, your eyes are like magnetically forced anywhere the fuck else on the screen. So if you're going to see the movie, and I'll be honest, for that reason alone, if you're going to see the movie, go see it in the theater, because at least then there's more space for you to look to avoid the godforsaken hellspawn that is realistic Dr. Jumba Jukiba.
That's one of the changes where I'm like, I feel like you could have done it better or a little bit different and it wouldn't have been as bad.
Now, I'll say this as a brief interjection. The budget for the movie reportedly was $100 million.
Yeah.
Tidy chunk of change.
It's tiny.
Opening box office weekend, $430 million. They made their money back. They made their money back and then some. A lot of that's going to be nostalgia. A lot of that's going to be parents taking their kids to see it.
Plus, Stitch is one of their most marketable characters.
Yes.
Already.
Absolutely. They were always going to make their money back on this movie. Knowing that, if I were the money man at Disney, I would have doubled their fucking budget. Make me Lilo and Stitch with $200 million. And I want you to dedicate at least a third of that budget to the CG. Okay? Stitch looks great. Not gonna lie. Little off on color here and there. But other than that, fucking looks great.
He's
Moves
like
correctly.
Stitch.
Yes. He moves correctly. Everything they did with his animation, good job. Well done to the animators. Pleakley, wrong color. Wrong color.
Very wet.
Very wet, but I always sort of felt like Pleakley was kind of wet. So to me, that wasn't necessarily an issue. But Pleakley, pretty good. Pretty close, I would say.
Yeah.
Not all the way there, but trending in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Jumba, fucking what? No. The Grand Councilwoman, another CG character.
Fantastic.
1-to-1.
Every single background alien that you see, like
that fucking axolotl
in the animated version, minus the axolotl, is there in the live action version, and they're all perfect.
It's like they nailed pretty much everyone, getting an A grade, not an A plus, not 100 out of 100, but pretty much nailing everything. And then your average is just plummeted to the fucking center of the earth because of the way Jumba is. Yeah. Anyways, it plays out basically the same way in the beginning of the movie.
Until we get to Earth, yeah.
Pleakley is the Earth expert. He gets deputized by the Grand Councilwoman. She offers Jumba his freedom if he captures Stitch. We don't have the scene in the cell with Jumba where he loses his mind and rips up the paper and eats the scraps, which is a fun sequence. But
Pleakley's also not scared of Jumba. He's excited to work with Jumba in the movie.
Yes, and that's weird, but also I feel like this iteration of Pleakley is a lot more like locked in on his shit than he is aware of anything else that's going on around him.
He's also more like he loses that rigidity and like rule structure that the original Pleakley had, like as part of his character, and he's more just like literally like he's on a vacation on Earth.
It's not out of it's not out of nowhere that comes though, because he literally says when he gets sent with Jumba that this is basically going to be a vacation for him. Like he's so excited because he's going to the place he's always wanted to go to.
That's just not how the original character was.
No, and I think that's not great, but
I'm just saying I'm here to point out differences.
Listen, you're pointing out the differences and that's fine. I like this version of Pleakley.
I don't hate it. It wasn't bad.
I like it. It's like if Pleakley was a stoner. No. I'm sorry. It's like if Pleakley was Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like laid back enough to be like, the rules, we can bend those. But also like, we're going to go do some educational shit right now in this dope ass place.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it's sort of like if OG Pleakley was also Miss Frizzle, it would be this Pleakley.
Yes.
So they go. Stitch crashes to Earth, fucks up a whole wedding reception. I mean, just whirling terror. And it's a fun sequence. I don't think this happened in the original movie, I'm not gonna lie. But it was fun. I enjoyed the sequence. It wasn't outside the realm of reality, I guess. But it just was like, we didn't need this, did we? Was it in the original movie? Oh, it was? That he fucks up a whole wedding reception?
Oh no, I was answering a question from chat. Sorry. No, not in the original movie that we fuck up our wedding reception or that we are so food driven.
Yeah, he's really into cake. I mean, just like super into cake. So into cake that cake is a plot device for the first like 45 minutes of the movie. That all takes place, right?
Yep.
Then we get our intro to Lilo and Nani. Lilo starts the movie giving a sandwich to Pudge the fish.
It's not a peanut butter sandwich.
Is it not?
I had to go back and watch, which I did during the new Rockstars breakdown, which we seem to shout out more and more on this channel. But unless peanut butter is green, that's not a peanut butter sandwich. And I saw someone else bring it up and I was like, oh, no, that's not true. And then I went and looked and yeah, no, it's not a peanut butter sandwich. And it's annoying. It's a time... She gives Pudge a sandwich, but it's not peanut butter.
She does feed Pudge.
Let me get a little montage of her, like...
It's the first true break of Lilo from her cartoon form to her modern form. And it will inform the rest of this Lilo's performance. She fucks around on purpose. Yeah,
my big issue here is that, and I'm going to just say this as an overarching thing because there's not going to be another good time to bring it up. They take a change to Lilo where they take her from the weird, quirky girl who just kind of ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time most of the time to this now very adorable and very silly little girl who is purposely causing trouble and kind of wreaking havoc across her little Hawaiian town. And that's my big issue with Lilo's character is she's not weird. She's not weird at all. She's
But she's
just
a little weird. She
not
does talk about giving a fish a sandwich because the fish controls the weather.
barely. That's another complaint I have, but no, she's just not, she doesn't talk about zombies, she doesn't go take pictures of tourists, she's not that different than a normal 6-year-old girl. Or is she 8? No, the actress is 8, she's 6, yes.
Now, I'm not making this joke.
Okay.
It's a joke that I saw on the interwebs.
Okay.
The reason I need to specify I'm not making it is because it's a touchy subject.
Okay.
Someone online said the reason they didn't like this version of Lilo is because this version of Lilo isn't autistic like the first version of Lilo is. And it made me chuckle a little bit, maybe more than I should have. But then I thought, I'm not intimately familiar with all the many ways that autism shows itself in people, but Cartoon Lilo did do some weird shit.
There's been a long ongoing conversation in the community about whether Lilo, original Lilo, was a person with autism or not. That's been something that's been around for a while, so possibly.
I mean, can you really diagnose a cartoon character?
No.
That's correct. But that is a joke that I had seen floating around the internet. But yeah, this Lilo's kind of like just normal and an asshole.
Yeah, she breaks into like the resort. She sets her neighbor's chickens free. Like she's just kind of a tiny terrorist running around her town. And then she's late to Hulu, which follows the same thing as the original. Hulu? No, she's late to Hula.
She's late to Hula. Damn, girl.
She's late to Hula.
This is late stage capitalism.
She's
It's infected your mind.
She's late to
You're a slave to the man.
Which this time it's a hula. It's not just practice.
Yeah, this is a genuine performance.
It's a recital. And she's late and she's rushing and she gets there and we have a short conversation. And I only say short because I have the original conversation memorized by heart.
And this one's short.
Yeah, where she has a conversation. He's like, "Why were you late?" And she's like, "I had to give the fish a sandwich." And he's like, "Why did you have to give the fish a sandwich?" And she's like, "Because he controls the weather." And that was it. And then he's like, "Okay, get dressed."
Now, I will say, the way that they run that conversation in this modern iteration of the movie, to me, reflects perfectly an exasperated adult dealing with that many little girls. Whereas in the cartoon, that guy who basically teaches that class, I've always watched that movie and thought, man, that guy's such a fucking saint for all the bullshit he tolerates in his class. And he's so calm and patient. And he's such a wonderful iteration of an adult. And then this one's like, oh, that's like a normal guy. Because she's talking about it. And he just sort of is like, oh, wait. And just turns away. And he's like, I'm not dealing with this right now. We're doing the thing.
Yes.
It's like, man, you really sucked the life out of that side character for this shit? Really?
And also
I'm sure that actor could have been more fatherly and nice.
And also that whole interaction between those two is what leads Myrtle to calling her weird and Lilo beating the shit out of Myrtle. Like,
now Lilo does not beat the shit out of Myrtle in this movie.
No.
But she does commit a hate crime.
And Myrtle is also not a redhead.
Nope.
Nor is she white, which is a whole thing.
Oh, it would have been more fun if she was.
That's the point. And so...
What? Colonialism? Ah! Ow! In today's day and age.
And so we get this whole exchange between the girls and Lilo now where she's like, they're basically like, you don't have any friends, you suck, like, and that's their whole thing. And then
she makes her own friendship bracelet.
And
they're like,
shows them too, and she's like, oh, trash girl wearing trash on her hand because it's a trash bracelet made of trash. And I'm like, why?
This incredibly quippy dialogue is brought to you from the same studio that brought you Deadpool.
It's just it felt more mean, but also like
Very bullying.
yeah, it didn't feel right. And then we don't even get the payoff of again watching her beat Myrtle in the face. She does shove her off the stage, but
Now, in the cartoon, part of the bullying that occurs to Lilo is this sort of marveling at how weird Lilo is, which is it's a point of it. Is like, man, the rest of the girls are like, she's so weird, and they marvel about it. It's like they're studying an insect. And then in this one, it's like, oh, they're just little fucking assholes.
yeah.
And they're just being dicks to be dicks.
I think in the first one you could at least see, yes, Lilo is weird. Should you bully her? No. But yes,
just
she's
because
strange.
someone's different, you shouldn't bully them.
But in this one, you don't even get that like benefit of being all like, yeah, she's a little quirky, but like be nice. It's just like, wow, you guys are just assholes to this girl whose parents just died like a few months ago.
Yep.
Like, ugh.
So, in the middle of the performance, due to being triggered by Nani not making it to the performance,
Not Nani's fault.
not Nani's fault, her truck died. Of course, you can't explain that to a child. They won't give a shit. Lilo yeets Myrtle off the stage.
Just
We don't even get to see the tumble. All you see is a child actor fly off stage.
now, I will say this for Lilo. She did not hit first. Myrtle hip checked her and knocked her down, and then she shoved Myrtle off the stage. So
yes,
Lilo finished it. She didn't start it.
That's nice.
I'm just saying, if I was the parent in that situation, I'd be like, all right. Or the teacher in that situation, I'd be like, self-defense at that point.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, kids. Now, it is unfortunate that Nani didn't make it, which is not a bit from the first movie.
Lilo gets expelled from hula school.
Kicked out of hula school because Myrtle's parents put pressure on the teacher, which is bullshit. And even the teacher's like, you guys know, like, she's going through a super bad time right now. And they're like, meh. Fuck off. You go all the way to hell with your bitch ass child. So Lilo goes home, flops on the floor, puts on records, locks all the doors.
Just like the original.
Except
she doesn't nail the door shut, which is fair. Like, that's fine. That's a change that's understandable.
Yeah,
like
that's a little thing where it's like, you can nitpick it, but like, does it matter? No. The door is still impassable. So then Nani finally makes it back, just says the social worker,
who's not Cobra Bubbles.
But rather is a new character, Mrs. Kakoa.
Which they created to give the original Nani a part in the movie.
Yes, voice actor for original Nani plays Mrs. Kakoa in this movie. A female social worker who, as far as I can tell, does not quite give a shit about the rules of being a social worker or the rules of CPS.
I think, no, but I think for like movie aspects, I kind of like her character a little bit more because she's trying to be understanding and like really, really help them out as much as she can.
Totally. However, CPS notably doesn't do that. So, I don't know if you know this about that organization. They're really good at stealing children. I don't know what to tell you. It's what their job is. So, Miss Kakoa visits and completely normally discovers that the situation's far too fucked up and they can't can't let Nani be the caretaker for Lilo. Um,
She gives them a week for Nani to achieve 3 things. She needs health insurance for her and Lilo. So, spoiler alert, Lilo's going to get hurt at some point
yep.
because the American healthcare system has to make an appearance in this movie.
They couldn't have fucking railroaded that shit harder than Krakoa specifying that she needed to get health insurance.
The other one is she needs. I can't think of what the other 2 are all of a sudden.
She needs to
pay the bills.
Pay the bills and fill the fridge.
And yeah, she needs food.
They need to have a stocked fridge.
The house needs to be clean. The house needs to be clean.
Yeah, but they already knew that.
House needs to be clean, pay the bills, and
stock the fridge.
And get insurance. It has a week to do those things.
These are totally doable things if you have money. Now, a notable part of the Lilo and Stitch story that does track from cartoon to live action, Nani has a really fucking hard time accumulating money. Totally makes sense. It's rough out there.
Especially in this economy.
My God, can you imagine in the 2002 economy when shit was booming?
It was before the recession.
It was before the recession.
Oh my God.
It was before the recession that happened before this recession. So
they might have actually been able to make it work back then.
Yeah, they might have, could have. So there's all that. Now, in this time where we're at the house and the social worker is there and then leaves, we discover a side plot along with a side character that is genuinely so good until the last couple minutes of the movie. And that is the neighbor Ms. Tutu.
Fine with her being there.
Who, as far as I can tell, is David's mom?
Yes.
Great. Cool. She's their neighbor. And she is hilarious. A tremendous performance from a tremendous actor. Just so funny. Great delivery.
I also didn't mind this change because it gives someone to look after Lilo while Nani goes to work and stuff.
Yeah, we get like a babysitter.
In the original, this 5-year-old child was just allowed to roam the streets while Nani worked. Like Nani,
I'd wager it was a little safer in
2002. There was that, and latchkey kids were still a thing in the early aughts. Like I was a latchkey kid. So that was still something that was a thing.
A sensible change that was nice.
Yeah.
But also discover Nani has another thing going on, which is nonsense. In that she had at one point an aspiration to become a marine biologist. I don't hate this idea. However, she wants to go be a marine biologist in, where is it?
San Diego.
California. Not outside of the question, but San Diego, the mainland? Now, this is not something I learned until after watching the movie. But apparently, please do not quote me on this because I, like a fool, did not fact check this.
I'll fact check right now.
Apparently, Native Hawaiians can attend school in Hawaii for free. And so she would be able to attend. Wait, it's the first Google search. We're not the only people to look this up. Don't use the AI overview. Don't you do it.
I was just reading it.
All right. Theoretically, Nani could go to a school that would undoubtedly have a pretty prestigious marine biology program locally for free. And she wouldn't need the scholarship that she does have to go to San Diego. Oh, Fingers in the air from America. Let's check in with our live fact checker.
So, from people actually in Hawaii on
Love to hear this.
threads. Um, for the record, Indigenous Hawaiians do not get to go to the University of Hawaii for free.
Okay.
Um,
Do they have a good marine biology program?
But another person says it's not University of Hawaii in general, it's the marine biology program at the University of Hawaii that offers free tuition for Native Hawaiians.
Ooh, okay, so a very specific thing. Now, I could forgive the production team for not checking to see if she could get into a marine biology program closer to home from like a reality standpoint. Except in this specific instance, she can literally get into the program she wants to do at home for free.
Or at least very discounted. There's still debate online. But yes.
And instead, she had. Now, to be fair to Movie Nani, she has this aspiration while she still has parents.
Yes.
So that's totally justified. Makes sense.
Could reapply.
Could. So this gets brought up by Miss Tutu and because of a flyer and some shit. And so we're introduced to this concept that Nani had the impetus to leave.
I also think that movie Nani, like live action Nani, is younger than cartoon Nani.
I believe that to be the case. Live action Nani's like 18. Like, she's a kid.
Like 19, 18, yeah. Like, she was about to go to school before her parents passed.
Like, a fresh out of high school kid. And I think cartoon Nani was more in the, like, 22 to 25 range.
Yeah. Like, probably still lived at home with her family.
Yeah, because it was described as her kid sister.
Yeah.
In the cartoon.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's just little sister. So, to me, what that tells me is cartoon Lilo was an oopsie accident. But you wouldn't think about that when you're writing the movie.
I mean, I had a client who I worked with whose brother was 14 and he was 3.
Could be an oopsie accident. And so the age gap there would have been like 15 years? So yeah, about that. And then in this movie, 6 to 18, that's not nearly as atrocious as a gap. That's 12 years. I mean, I'm only 7 years older than my youngest sibling. They're like double that. All right, it would still be a little weird, but
oh my gosh.
Listen, I'm filling time here, but also getting into the nitty gritty. So now Stitch is at the animal shelter.
And the neighbor, because it's the next day, Nani's gone to work and to try to get health insurance. And the neighbor Tutu, is that how you say it?
Mrs. Tutu.
Takes Lilo to the animal shelter because she heard Lilo say she wanted a friend. So we still do the whole wish on a star thing, but it's not nearly like it's not Nani hearing her say that and then going and getting the friend. We also, it's a little grievance, but we cut out the whole line where she's like, Lilo's saying the wish and she goes, maybe a lobster, because she's describing the perfect friend, and we cut that, and it's little things like that where you're like waiting to hear those iconic lines and then you don't hear them and you're just like, oh.
I'm not gonna lie to you, babe. I think you might be one of the only fans to be that diehard about maybe a lobster.
It's a cute line. It's funny.
I'm not gonna deny that.
The Pudge the Fish rant was gone too.
I'm just saying I don't remember the maybe a lobster line from the cartoon, and we watched that movie within the last calendar year. I'm not saying it's not in there, and I'm not saying it's not cute. I'm saying I think you might have some personal attachment to the lobster line that maybe the rest of us don't share.
Anyways,
Specifically,
anyways,
fucking weirdo. I love you. So Stitch busts out his cage, um, and Jumba and Pleakley get planet side. Now, Jumba and Pleakley, is this before they commit the disguise?
no,
Or this is pre. This is pre-disguise.
What are you asking?
The attack at the dog shelter.
It's post disguise.
That's post-disguise? Okay, so we have missed a bit here, which we will go back to, and that's how we'll end the episode. Jumba and Pleakley get down to the planet, and they, instead of the play dress up to disguise your comically alien bodies as human, um, which is a terrifically funny bit
But doesn't I
from the cartoon.
I was like, I can say that probably wouldn't play as well over live action.
I don't think it would have looked quite right. And I do like this part of Zach's performance because he sort of like gets to flex his comedy chops. And Billy Magnuson as well. They use these disguise scanner techno bobble bullshits to basically scan two human life forms and transform their bodies into those bodies. So Jumba scans a hotel employee and Pleakley scans some other guy, and they transform into these people, which are just Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson. They then proceed to try to figure out how to function in a human body, which is great.
They don't know how to walk.
Classic alien trope. Very funny. They perform it flawlessly. It's hilarious. They don't know how to interact with humans. It's all very humorous. Great little addition given the change that was made.
I liked it. I didn't mind it at all.
I thought it was so fun. Honestly, all of the parts of the movie where Jumba and Pleakley are in their human variants are the best parts with Jumba and Pleakley in it because they're just so funny as themselves.
You also don't have to look at the bad CGI.
You don't have to look at Jumba. And then it's immediately ruined when they do not have the disguises on. But yeah, the Jumba and Pleakley then catch up to Stitch at the dog shelter. They fire tranquilizer darts at him. He gets a daring escape, works his way back into the dog shelter where he is adopted by Lilo. And he does have the big brain, sees a picture on the wall of a little girl loving on a dog.
This plays out exactly like the cartoon.
It's exactly the same way, yeah. All the way down to the order in which he sucks in his extra limbs, his spines, and his antennae. It's great. Yep. It's fine. No problems there.
And the hug's really sweet, like where she first meets him. Like, it's all really, really good. That whole section is really nice.
Yeah, and I think we'll end this episode there.
On a positive note.
On a positive note. And then we'll pick up next episode where the plot spirals deeply out of control. Nothing is the same as it was, and everything is fucking bullshit.
All right. You don't get to vote because you already voted. That will be being recorded this weekend as well, if all goes well. We did have people in town, and our child got a new strange illness that was scary, and has been rough for a week, a little bit more. He's just now starting to feel better. It was a weird time, and we don't even know what it was. That's not how you spell that. We went to the doctor 3 times, and we still don't know what it was. So, but we should be able to record Wicked on Sunday is the plan. We're gonna watch it tomorrow, record it Sunday. Because that works just better than us trying to juggle a child and watch the movie at the same time. So, yeah, we are gonna take our normal break though, so we will be right back. There's the mouse. BRB. It's a dumb dad joke, Green Gorilla.
No, it's funny.
Dumb joke.
It's funny.
Dumb joke.
Funny joke. You right. Good joke.
That was funny. All right.
Oh my god.
What now?
Don't look at my phone.
Okay.
You'd think it was something illicit. It's actually just a big fucking moth.
Ugh. I already started.
This lady's petting it.
Ah, no.
She's like stroking it, trying to help it.
That's like, nope, we're not gonna say that sentence.
It's this account called the Moth Ladies.
No.
Well, hey, that's a really pretty moth.
Mm-mm.
Look, it's like it's very
Nope.
colorful. It's like a
That's-
fucking
nope.
butterfly.
No.
Look at it. Look at it. It's like a butterfly. It's big,
No.
big moth.
No.
Big.
No.
Big moth.
Mm-mm.
It's like a little bird.
Mm. Mm.
Oh. Oh.
Why?
Is that a
Why are we
fake?
doing this? What? Why?
Are these pins of her moths?
What? No. Why? Why is
Why
this
are these
happening?
moths so big?
Oh my god. Can we talk about the movie?
Whenever you want to start.
I can't because I'm scared you're gonna keep talking about moths and it's gonna end up in a recording.
She likes to hold their little cocoons as they hatch.
No.
Yeah,
No. They come out wet. No.
Do they?
Yeah.
How do they get so dusty?
They
Well,
dry.
I mean, these moths are like, these moths aren't the fucking blind flap about and bounce off the walls type moths.
So butterflies and moths, when they come out of their cocoon, they're wet. They have to wait for their wings to like dry.
This bitch got beetles. And she paints the beetles?
This is the villain in my story. Like if I were ever to have like a villain that's especially designed for me, this is it. This is my Count Olaf. This is everything. This is my Lex Luthor. Like fuck this bitch. I don't know who you are respectfully. Like no, fuck you.
That's a tarantula. Why do you have that?
Why can't we hold snakes? Snakes are great. I hate moths. They eat your clothes,
Oh.
they make nests in your hair,
Oh.
and they lay eggs in your ears, and they get stuck in your ears. Fucking
Oh,
no.
it's gonna show me so much more now. I don't want it.
Look what you did.
Interested. Not
Look what you
interested.
did.
Take it away. Okay.
So this is what you get. This is what you
I
get.
fix it. I fix it. I solved it. It's okay. Let me tell you what it was that put me all the way off. She had been collecting or getting into like silk moths that like their cocoons are made of silk. And she posts this video because people were getting into hobbies during COVID. And so she ordered, I don't know, it looked to my eyes like about 200 silk moth cocoons. And she just dumped a baggie of them, like a gallon Ziploc bag, into this little basket. And some fell off the sides. There was just moth cocoons all over the everything. I went,
No. First of all, they do lay eggs in your ears.
only if they can get in there.
The moths, they get in there.
Yeah, but you know they're blind.
Yes, but they get in people's ears. I know someone it happened to personally. Everyone called me crazy that entire summer. And two people. I know 2 people.
And you know one who swallowed one.
Which is a whole other thing that I need to address. What the fuck?
You were a kid. Probably. Say you were a kid. Kids do dumb shit.
Why was your mouth open enough for a moth to get in there? And how did you not spit it out instead of swallow it? What's wrong
Well, you know, when you throw a pill into the back of your throat, you just go, well,
No.
oh, that doesn't happen to you? It's probably because of your tonsils. Gotta get them bitches out of there.
I'm unwell.
Lilo and Stitch is like a moth. It's the bane of America's existence.
Alright, here we go. We're gonna just go into the movie now.
A series of, yeah, no shit, a series of unfortunate events. Oh, Lord.
Alright. Anyways,
I opened my beer.
yes.
Thank God.
Don't walk with your mouth open outside. Anyways,
He's a
3,
kitty.
2, 1.
I don't have a cold open, do you?
Nope.
Well, all right.
There we go.
This is the
We
show.
didn't even get to introduce ourselves last time,
No,
I don't
I
think.
just went off.
Yeah,
I had a
so
moment of genius and I just went.
in case you're tuning into this very confused and you just stumbled upon this podcast.
You shouldn't be confused. This is the second episode. Second episodes always do better. It's because you people know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you guys watch our second episodes a lot. Anyways, that's James.
Yeah.
I'm America. This is Citywave Cinema, a bonus episode. This is not Wicked. It is Lilo and Stitch.
The live action from 2025.
Yeah. Could we have talked about the other one?
No, because that's a good movie. We don't review good movies
All right.
most of the time. Sometimes we do.
So we just adopted Stitch is kind of where we left off here.
Yeah. So now the movie sort of runs through a progression of chaotic Lilo and Stitching.
They steal.
They steal Myrtle's car.
Yeah. Not like a big car, like a toy car.
And it's not a big wheel. That made me sad that it wasn't a big wheel.
Yeah.
But it was the motorized car, and that was kind of cool.
That's more updated. Big wheels aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah, but the big wheel was so cool looking. Anyway, steal the car, drive it about, and this sequence in the movie is really where we lean even harder into Lilo is an antagonist in her life. Like, she's trying to be a pest. Even when she's trying not to be a pest, she can't help herself, which is totally kid-like.
She even mentions to Stitch, she's like, "Oh, you like causing trouble." And then they proceed to cause trouble together.
We carve out all the Elvis shit.
Yeah. It's now just background soundtrack.
I don't know if it's because the estate wouldn't let them do it, or they just didn't bother to include it, or what.
Or they thought kids wouldn't, it wouldn't resonate as well. I don't know.
Listen.
But,
there are kings and queens of pop. Michael Jackson, king of pop. Elvis Presley, king of rock and roll. Those two are undeniable fixtures of music, and they will be for all time. There will not be an era of humanity where you cannot look back on music and recognize Elvis Presley or recognize Michael Jackson.
And they just did that Elvis movie, too.
They just did that Elvis movie with Austin Butler.
Which did very well.
He was so into it, he couldn't stop being Elvis.
Watch that one.
And then they did that different Elvis Presley movie that was really dark, and it was called Priscilla. And it was about how he maybe was a bit of a pedophile. Anyway, we blow past all the Elvis shit. Well, it's just because Priscilla was a minor. Blow past all the Elvis Presley shit. Bummer, boo, hiss, whatever. Lilo names him Stitch.
Much later.
Much later in the movie.
And then they go to Nani's place of work.
The luau.
Just like in the original.
And we do burn it down just like the original.
No.
Well, we almost burn it down.
They don't get thrown out for burning it down in the original. They get thrown out because Stitch attacks Pleakley, and they think Pleakley's like
a real woman.
A real woman. and a
Oh yeah,
guest.
that's right.
He like
The
bites her
fire,
whole head
the
off.
fire just happens.
David lights the fire because David kind of sucks at his job, and it's just a tiny part of the stage that gets
Yeah.
caught on fire.
Yeah.
And David.
What's really funny, actually, in this whole luau scene is we're at Nani's job, and Lilo and Stitch
Are purposely causing
they
trouble.
purposely cause trouble, and they do a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
They stuff and dress a pig. They
Play with the like soda fountain
play
guns.
with the soda guns. They steal some shit.
Yeah, they steal desserts.
They also always manage to be back in their seats coloring whenever someone comes by to check on them. Also, Nani's boss is just a fucking dick in the movie. Like, don't remember that from the first one. Could be there. Just saying, don't remember it.
I mean, he wasn't great.
And then what's really unjustifiable though is Stitch goes and is gonna do the fucking whirly twirly fire, fucks it up. David still sets the stage on fire. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the issue is, I think they knocked down like candles or something, and the table caught fire, and like guests were injured and all that stuff.
A sequence of chaos happens, but no one sees Lilo or Stitch do it, and they're standing way off to the side when the consequences of the chaos occur. And is it caused by Stitch? A little, but not really. Like, watching it, it's sort of railroaded in a way where, like, you don't notice anything really set off all the things happening, and then all of a sudden everything's going on. And it's chaos, and a few things are ruined, and a few things are broken. And Lilo and Stitch are, like, off to the side, just sort of, like, standing there, literally not doing anything. Not moving, not causing problems. They're just standing. And Nani's also around, like, doing her job. And I think the problem for me is Nani's boss doesn't know how any of this happened and just sees Lilo and Stitch off to the side. Like, he knows they're there. Yeah. He knows they're on the premises. And he just sees them literally not doing anything, standing off to the side, and fires Nani anyway.
Yeah.
It's a completely unjustifiable firing.
Versus in the first
versus in the first one, it's because Stitch bit fucking Pleakley's head. Put his whole head in his mouth. Which we can't show really in this movie so well.
That would have been a treat.
And the damages to the space are pretty minimalistic, and there's no like concrete evidence that Lilo or Stitch caused any of those problems. They were basically doing petty troublemaking. Like, it just, this sequence felt like low stakes troublemaking intentionally, which is not how Lilo rolls canonically. And then Nani gets dinged for it for what? For no reason? For literally no reason? It just sucks. Like, that's shit fucking bitch made writing. That is such weak spined bullshit. If you can't execute the sequence the way it was in the first movie, find a better alternative. If you look at this and compare it to the old one, which you have to do because you have to assume that audiences and critics are going to do exactly what we're doing now, which is compare it to the old one. When you're making this, when you're making your remakes, you have to assume that they'll be compared to their predecessors. So either you make changes and they have to be better or at least as good, or you have to do it the exact same way. And if you can't do it the exact same way, then you have to look at what you've got and go, is this as good? And I don't think anyone with a shred of dignity or common sense could compare these two specific sequences and go, yes, this one is as good as the original. I just don't see it.
Agreed.
It doesn't try. everything that happens in the original is justifiable. The reactions from people, the outrage, the firing, justifiable. In this one, completely unjustifiable.
It was an accident.
Everything was an accident besides the petty troublemaking, and none of that is something that you fire an employee over. And then at the end of all of it, the boss is a little humiliated and he just sees people that he believes are troublemakers and is like, fuck you and everyone around you. It's just, is it realistic? Yes, absolutely. That shit happens all the time, I'm sure. Is it honoring the original? More like pissing on it. You know, it just, this sequence fucking blows. And it shouldn't be in the movie if we're not gonna at least make it as good as the last one. So then Cobra Bubbles finds the fucking ship. And of course, Cobra Bubbles is in the movie. He has to be in the movie. Now, Ving Rhames, the actor who played Cobra Bubbles in the first one, looks an awful lot like Cobra Bubbles from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, Ving Rhames is getting up there in age. Apparently, I don't remember if he didn't want to or couldn't.
He had scheduling conflicts because apparently he's in the new Mission Impossible.
I mean, he's been in almost all the Mission Impossibles
So
as part of that core team. So
there you go.
yeah, so scheduling conflicts stopped Ving Rhames from reprising his Cobra Bubbles role, which is sad, but also I would bet that if Ving Rhames came in to play Cobra Bubbles, he'd read the story and the reduction of the character and be like, man, I ain't doing this bullshit. I don't know. But Cobra Bubbles is another one of the sort of side main characters whose role is
Changed. Lessened.
Lessened is a very kind term to the neutering of the super dope badass CIA spy Cobra Bubbles.
Ex-CIA spy.
Sure.
In the original.
Now, original Cobra Bubbles, it's a cartoon. You're not going to really like get people who look like the cartoon characters. But he was, to my understanding, modeled off of Ving Rhames from the olden days. This Cobra Bubbles, smaller guy, still commanding presence. I'll say that. Actor does a good job there.
Mm-hmm. There's no hate to the actor.
No, but I'm gonna run you through basically Cobra Bubbles' whole movie presence because it's like 3 scenes. He finds the crashed police cruiser that Stitch smashed into the planet.
He is a current CIA agent.
He is presently employed by the CIA. And he is planning to report this to headquarters. After doing some more investigating. He will then masquerade as the higher up to Mrs. Kakoa, the social worker. So he is not presently undercover as a social worker. He is just a guy.
He's like the director of their facility or something, is who he's pretending to be.
Yes, he will go undercover as the director of the chapter or whatever of the CPS or whatever the fuck. So he just sort of exists. They still do the cobra tattooed on his knuckles thing, which I think is fun.
He steals a bit of Stitch's fur and like sends it off to be analyzed.
Yep. And then we don't hear from him. And then he functions as a chauffeur briefly to drive people around a little later in the movie. And then at the end of the movie, his super dope mediation role where he reveals himself to be this incredible like alien division of CIA who has the top secret clearance and resolved the Roswell incident of fucking, what is it, 89 or whatever?
Yeah. I don't
The bite
remember
of
what
87?
I don't remember what year, but yeah.
All that's fucking gone. He's just a guy. Like,
Who pretends to look the other way, but also then stays in Hawaii and hangs out with.
yeah, I don't like his whole character is so reduced that there's nothing left of it. It's like if you were making a reduction on the stove and you just kept reducing it and kept reducing it and kept reducing it until it was char. And then you were like, Cobra Bubbles? And everyone at the dinner party goes, oh, what the fuck? No. What? And you go, Cobra Bubbles. And they go, no, honey, no. Do not reduce. The reduction is no. And they go, Cobra Bubbles. And that's the character, okay? So it's just such a fucking shame because he's so badass and intimidating. And in this movie, he's commanding, but like has the character dynamics of like a napkin. Fucking what he doesn't even need to be there.
No.
You could do all of this movie without Cobra Bubbles.
100%.
And it would be fine. He has zero impact on the story at all. And that's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. I need you to go because I'm fading.
Okay.
My rants.
We then get to the point because Cobra and the other social worker Kakoa show up and they're like, "Hey, you got fired. That's not in the direction you're supposed to be going." And so we still get the same montage of Nani trying to go get jobs and getting rejected because Lilo and Stitch are purposely, again, causing trouble. I mean, Lilo's still trying to teach Stitch like how to be not so bad all the time, but they're still causing like problems. Like it's not just accidental things like the last time. Then Nani gets a job as a surfing instructor because much like in the original, although it plays a much bigger role in this one, Nani is like a award-winning, contest-winning surfer. Like she's been doing this forever. She has in the original you just see like trophies in her room in the background. In this one they make a much bigger deal about how excellent she was at surfing in high school. Which will come to play later on in the story. But so she finally gets a job as a surfing instructor and it's going really well. And then they meet up with David and they surf after her first shift to kind of like celebrate. And that's kind of we do the whole Hawaiian roller coaster ride sequence. It's not as good as the first one, but it's not like awful. And then at that point we get Jumbo and Pleakley trying to capture Stitch while jet skiing while Stitch has finally gone out onto the surfboard. Again, I'm summarizing a lot of this and skipping over stuff because like if you saw the original, it's the same. It's minor tweaks here and there, but it's the same. Jumbo and Pleakley try to capture Stitch while on a jet ski, but they fail. And Stitch and Nani and Lilo crash into the water just like in the original. Stitch tries to drag Lilo down. She starts drowning.
Well,
but
Stitch doesn't try to drag Lilo down. Stitch is trying to survive and nearly drowns Lilo.
Yes. Stitch is panicking. The whole thing plays out the exact same, except we're going to make a much bigger deal about how long Lilo's underwater and how that's going to affect her, because here's where we enter the real villain of the story, the American healthcare system. Lilo has to go to the hospital because she nearly drowned to death.
But does she?
No.
No.
Um,
Will she? Yes.
and because of that, there's a big hospital bill, and Nani did not achieve getting the insurance yet. Remember how I said that'd be important later? Yep, they don't have insurance, so now they have these big hospital bills, and it is at this point that we throw the entire character of Nani in the trash, to embrace this new character of Nani, who is going to, and I will say this, I do think she makes the right call
For the situation.
for the situation.
Yeah.
However, that's not how the story goes, and that's not who Nani is. She gives Lilo up to the state.
Now, this comes on the heels of Mrs. Kakoa offering Nani a deal wherein the state will cover all of those bills, specifically and especially the hospital bill.
And they'll try to keep Lilo on the island and close by.
Basically, Kakoa's pulling all the strings in her little CPS book to keep the two of them in the same space while also keeping them out of massive debt.
And
Good guy Kakoa.
And having something like having them actually come and take Lilo away.
Right. This is a situation where the screenwriters gave themselves a problem that had only one way out. And they took the way out at the cost of the plot and meaning of the story. So, let's talk about it. Original Nani was not shown to have these massive dreams or aspirations. Her motivations were literally just to make ends meet and keep Lilo alive and well.
And with her.
That's all Nani was doing. And that's all she was wanting to do. She was never shown to want to do other stuff or have had dreams from before or whatever. That was the character. Maybe a little less three-dimensional, but that was the character. And that was fine because the movie's not really about Nani. Nani's just a key part of the movie that's about Lilo and also Stitch. Hence the name, Lilo and Stitch. In this movie, they went and tried to make Nani a more complicated character, and they did. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. However, they've also shown in the 2025 movie that Nani has fully accepted tossing her dreams from before her parents died. Like, she's in it. She's in the grind mindset. She's locked in on what she needs to do. She's just not very good at it. And that's okay. She's a kid. You're not very good at many things when you're a kid. The one thing she is really good at is sort of like a hobby. So she oh, we didn't even mention that she got hired as the surfing instructor. Did we?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
you did? Okay. Good. So this more complicated and nuanced Nani gets forced into a position by the screenwriters to where the only thing she can do to achieve her goal, which is to keep Lilo near her, with her, and alive and well, is to give her to the state. That's a fucking awful position to be in. Also, if we think back to the first movie, what does Ohana mean?
Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Bingo. Now, I'm not one to say that giving Lilo to the state means that you're getting rid of Lilo, but oh, wait, no. Yes, I am. I am going to say that. We're in the real world. CPS doesn't have a great track record. And the foster care system has one of the worst track records of keeping family in the same space and also taking care of the children in their care. It's a bad system out there. It's the only one, but it's bad. It would be nice if we could improve it. Giving Lilo to the state is the only option Nani has. And that sucks because they put her in that situation. If Lilo doesn't go to the hospital, we don't have to give Lilo to the state. Because you can screenwrite your way into getting her a job and health insurance. And maybe a little cash advance so she can buy groceries. Bingo, bango, bongo. You've done it all. Ms. Cocoa's happy. And then you can finish the rest of the movie the way you wanted to finish the rest of the movie. And all's well that ends well. How is that worse? I wrote the end of the movie just now in front of you. How could that possibly be worse than what the rest of this movie is? And I'll run you through quick the end of the plot here, because aside from the fight between Jumba and Stitch at Lilo and Stitch's house, not much else is really different.
No.
The fight's pretty good. Good sequence, like that.
Jumba kidnaps Stitch instead of... Here, we'll just go through it. Jumba kidnaps Stitch instead of Gantu because we don't have Gantu. He's not here.
Lilo sneaks aboard the ship. Oh, by the way, we have a portal gun. Just, that's been a thing. We haven't mentioned it, but we have a portal gun, and it's important.
Literally like the game Portal. You can just boop, boop.
Yeah, it straight ripped from Portal.
So, yeah, it's only important kind of a lot. But, so that's part of the whole fight sequence. Lilo...
Sneaks aboard the ship.
Sneaks on the ship. That all plays out kind of the same. Stitch convinces her to jump out of the flying spaceship into the ocean, way high up.
Well, no, he doesn't. They crash before she jumps.
I know, but he tries to.
He does try to convince her to jump. They're also traveling it really fast. Like, I was watching it and, like, yeah, Stitch is indestructible, and he probably doesn't know how soft and breakable a human body is. But, like, if Lilo jumped,
she's dead.
She's dead.
Like, they were so like, high up, and they were going so fast.
80, 90 feet up, you're going to fall fast. And they were already traveling at probably 100 miles an hour, the rate at which the ocean's racing underneath them. Stitch could jump that, no problem, easy peasy. If Lilo jumps out of that traveling ship and plummets to the ocean, it's like hitting concrete. She'd probably skip. She's so light. And all her bones would explode.
They also they crash hard.
They do crash hard.
Like, hard.
Like smoke mushroom cloud hard.
Lilo's dead, dude. Like, period. End of story. Lilo dies. But she doesn't, because this is a kid's movie. And so we get instead, Stitch dies. Briefly. For like several minutes. Because they fall into the ocean. Stitch sacrifices himself to save Lilo, because Lilo's like trying to pull him up, and his molecular density causes him to be heavy in the water. And so it
is a really sweet moment when he makes her let go and he does the heart thing.
Yeah, no, it's a cute, again, this movie's cute and it has good feels. It's just when you slide it up next to the original, it's not as good. So Stitch dies.
Does not die. He just sinks.
Well, no, he's dead. They have to resuscitate him. He does not have a heartbeat. He dies. Yes,
he dies, but it takes a while. Like, he's down at the bottom of the ocean, just like sitting there, sort of like hanging out.
Yeah, he has this really like, it's really tranquil and like an actually really beautiful moment of him like accepting, like,
he's accepted that he did something good.
Yeah, he changed. He's good now. And he has a family. See, it's cute. I'm gonna cry.
They gave Stitch all the best character growth, and they took it away from all the other ones, and they gave it all to Stitch.
And so he dies.
Yep.
And Nani guilted by her sister, and Ohana again
Go back for Stitch.
goes back for Stitch. And now I'm gonna jump in before you go off on your tangent, because the way Nani rescues Stitch is something that is a traditional competition.
This is part of my.
I know, but it's a traditional competition in Pacific Island countries to like do seabed, like seafloor walking while holding stones. It's a whole thing.
Yes.
And so that's how Nani transports Stitch from the bottom of the ocean to the shore. Go, James, go.
The distance traveled by Nani, who, by all understanding in the movie, is a pretty accomplished and terrific athlete.
Yes.
Even the most accomplished and successful athlete might struggle after being out of practice a little bit to hoist Stitch, who, as we see based on the acting, probably weighs like 80, 90 pounds in the water.
If not more.
If not more. Like Nani's struggling to get him up. Bearing in mind that, unlike most things that we know in reality, he is heavier in water than he is not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say he's probably like 90 pounds in the water. Struggles to get him up. And then we do not break to her going to the surface at all before she walks a significant distance along the seabed to the shore. I can suspend my disbelief on a shitload of stuff, but that was like, oh, so she's just got superhuman lungs.
See, I guess it didn't bother me because I know that's like a thing that happens. I don't know how long those races are or
I'm gonna look it up. You carry on.
much details about them, but like I guess in my brain I was like, oh no, that's like a real life thing that people do. And so I just didn't even process it. But they bring Stitch to the shore. Stitch is dead. He has no heart rate. They try to use fucking, I know the name of the machine. They try to electrocute him back to life with the heart attack machine, which I cannot remember.
The heart attack machine?
I can't remember the name of it. It's gone. I'm certified to use it and it's gone. I don't know. That machine, the clear, yeah, you know. They try to use that. It's not strong enough because Stitch is Stitch. So they hook him up to the car battery and jolt him alive that way. And then he's alive. Yay, everyone's happy. The Grand Councilwoman comes down. That all kind of plays out relatively the same. Not much of a change there. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. So then kind of Bubbles and Pleakley just kind of hang out and join the Earth. Or Pleakley like stays on Earth and Cobra Bubbles like joins the Ohana.
God, it is so hard to find anything about underwater rock running.
They fix Nani's home, and then it's told to Nani that Tutu, the neighbor, David's mom, is going to adopt Lilo, and Lilo's going to live down the street from Nani, and Nani can go to college in San Diego, and it's gonna be okay because Lilo's gonna be taken care of, and they're not gonna live in the same house, but she'll be right nearby. But then also they're gonna be in Nani's house at the end of the movie because reasons. And so Nani goes to school, and we end the movie by Nani FaceTiming Lilo. They talk, and then Nani uses the portal gun to come spend the night in the house with Lilo and Stitch. And that's how the movie ends. It's, again, the movie itself isn't bad. It's a cute movie. It has lots of really good moments. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It hits all the things. the problem is because it's a remake and we're running into this more and more. And you can do the issue is they keep somehow not doing it correct. They try to do shot for shot like they did the Lion King, but the CGI just removes all the life out of those lions, and so it's not as good to watch. They try to make an entirely different movie like Snow White, and it's trash because it's not as good as the original. You're stuck in this loop where you have all the answers to the test. It is an open book test. You can look at all the mistakes you've made previously and figure out how to do it correctly. You've done it correctly. Maleficent was a great movie. The remake of Aladdin was
Yes,
really
but
good. Hang on. I'm saying my piece, then you can say your piece.
time out.
Yes.
After reading a lot more about underwater rock running, most of the people who do it, they do train, and it is difficult, very difficult. Uh, people top out at like 1 minute,
Okay.
and these are like the fucking seasoned badasses who are doing it. The surfers who can hold their breath for many minutes
So like
are
Nani.
like topping out at 1 minute
Okay.
while their body's under that sort of stress. So I don't know that Nani could have made all that distance in 1 minute. Maybe it's a movie. Suspend your disbelief, maybe, but it was hard for me to.
Where was I? Yeah. It's just you have all the answers. You can do it correctly. You've done it correctly, and yet you still choose to do it incorrectly. Like at this point I have to believe it's a choice. Like you are actively choosing to not listen to us and do exactly what you think is right, even though it's proving not to work. I say that, but it looks like they've kind of learned their lesson because they have put on permanent hold all the live actions that were in production, which was Hercules and Rapunzel, Tangled. Thank God. I don't even know if I could watch it, but it's just we keep not making good choices. And there's a whole South Park special making fun of it because you keep doing the same shit. And you're not learning from your mistakes. So that's my issue. Stop remaking your fucking movies or remake the movies that we've been asking you to remake for, I don't know, a whole fucking decade or more, like Atlantis or Treasure Planet. Movies that didn't get nearly enough appreciation the first go around. Do those. Leave your fucking classics alone. I'm done. You're up.
What do you want me to talk about?
I don't know. You tried to interject me about something that I was saying, and then I said you needed to wait your turn, and now it's your turn, and you have nothing to say. This is the longest silence we've ever had.
The plot of this movie cheapens everything. You have a film where you commit to splitting up Lilo and Nani under the guise that everyone is okay with it. Your audience isn't, but sure, your characters are. Fucking whatever. So I know what we'll do. For a little heartwarming bit, and yeah, it's for the kids, so it'll make them feel fine. But for the adults in the audience, a big fucking part of your audience. After all, Lilo and Stitch came out 23 years ago.
And Disney adults existed or a thing.
Let's cheapen this difficult and complicated decision for Nani to go chase her dream over in San Diego by giving her unlimited access to basically maintain the closeness that she had. There is no it's the same as if she just went to school at the University of Hawaii. It's the same as if she studied it locally because she's still just there and can be there whenever. She has the portal gun. She can be there whenever. Like, a common problem in modern movies is making a bold step and following that up with immediately taking 4 steps back after you take your bold step into the unknown, into a scary thing. You, as filmmakers, producers, whatever, you make the choice to take a step forward that's maybe counter culture, maybe different, maybe people aren't going to like it. You're choosing to be different, which is not a bad thing inherently. And then as soon as you do it, you walk it back and you make it safe. It's important to make unsafe choices in art. It's very important to make unsafe choices in art. This is a movie that does exactly what 100 million fucking other movies have done before it, where it makes an unsafe choice and gets so scared that it force drags the safety net right up underneath its feet. It's like, to be clear, the way I think it's happening, because I don't know, I can only comment on what I think it is studio executives being afraid that brave choices and scary choices in art will not be profitable. And you'll get skewered in the ratings and you will not make as much money as you otherwise might. And to an extent, that's a very real thing. I saw this clip a little while ago where Matt Damon was giving an interview about why you can't make the same type of movies now that you could back in the 80s, 90s, early aughts. Because what he was saying was a lot of the profit that the studio and therefore the people who make the movie get off of a movie comes from projected DVD sales, Blu-ray sales, VHS sales. You don't have to make your budget back in the theater. And even worse, when COVID hit and theaters just stopped. So now you can't make fucking anything because you don't make money on streaming, really. You make money leasing pictures to people. It's a whole different scheme of money making. But nowadays, people aren't buying physical media. So you can't make up the difference. If your movie doesn't make its budget back in the theater, you can't just be like, oh, well, it's okay because the people who liked it will go and buy it and will make the difference up later. There is no make the difference up later anymore. Studios will not bite on risky things because there's no guarantee or even fractional guarantee that you make your investment back. And I think that's fair in terms of the investors. You don't want to buy in on something when you know that you have to win or not. It's like gambling. Only nowadays, it's much scarier gambling. It's you and the dealer one on one, no one else. You can't negate your losses later in the game or with other players losing to you. It's poker versus blackjack. Blackjack, it's you and the dealer. The other people at the table, if there are any, do not affect you. The only way they affect you is the cards being dealt. Their money does not go to you. So nowadays, studio execs and investors do not want to make scary choices. They don't want to do unique, frightening art because there's no guarantee of profitability.
This has been Mark's whole problem with Iron Lung.
Yes, Iron Lung, a movie that a YouTuber named Mark Fishbach made, were it to get a traditional film release, probably wouldn't do great in the box office, but his following would buy DVDs like rabid dogs.
His following would also probably go out and see it. Like,
Sure.
it's just the executives who are scared to take a chance on.
Nobody who's making a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the movie's already made. All they have to do is literally like
market it and send it.
Yeah. It's done.
It we're on the verge, if I can be a little predictive for a moment, of a renaissance of art. But we need to get through some years of suffering. In case you haven't paid attention to the way the world is at the moment, we're about to enter that part of suffering. But after suffering times, always, always, always comes some of the best art because you have to go through trauma to make the best art. It's the way it works. Historically, anyway. So we are in this space and time where art is struggling really, really hard to be relevant and good. And it is being fisted to death by tech, AI, people not being willing to invest, Marvel. It didn't start that way with Marvel, but it really got that way. Just the need for art to be a money-making thing in modern society has put a thick glass ceiling on art, and it's low. It is a low fucking ceiling. You bonk your head standing up. Music is pretty unaffected. People can do a lot of music and they can self-promote and get out there and they can do shit without labels nowadays, and that's dope. Movies and TV, we're in a dark spot. We're in a bad place. You're relying on small production houses. A24, Blumhouse. These are the studios cranking out
new shit.
Not only new shit, interesting shit, and award-winning shit.
We wouldn't have gotten any of the FNAF franchise if Blumhouse hadn't taken it on because nobody else wanted to touch it.
Which, fair. Adapting video games hasn't gone well for very many studios.
It is good.
But for these big corporations like Disney, Fox, they want guarantee of money. They want to make their money back. That's why they're making all their shit over again. They don't want to risk making new shit. Your very impassioned plea to them is, if they were to hear it, you'd have a boardroom of people sitting there going, but will it make as much money as the cash grab of Disney adults?
But their Disney adults are not making the money. Snow White proved that to them. I mean, they're changing their game now. Like I said, they put everything else on hold.
Yeah, but where Snow White tanked, Lilo and Stitch
is still not doing as well as they would have liked, from what I've heard.
It's getting deeply criticized, and its opening weekend, it made $400 million. It made quadruple its budget.
Maybe if they'd thrown more money at it than the fucking Snow White movie, we'd have a better fucking movie.
Probably. Listen, this movie made 4 times its profit. It's absolutely made Disney money. And it's still in theaters. Its theater run's not done. So it will continue to get money. And it will continue to be profitable until it's no longer in theaters. And then it'll go to Disney Plus and it will be relegated into obscurity. But these execs do not care to make new things. Actually, I'm going to take that back for Disney for a moment because they are making Andor, the Star Wars show.
They've made a lot of new Star Wars shit. The
And
Mandalorian.
for all the shit that Kathleen Kennedy has gotten over her Star Wars things, justify it.
Not just Star Wars.
Mandalorian was fucking rocking. Everybody liked Mandalorian. Andor, I've heard it's some of the best Star Wars content ever.
I will say Mandalorian followed the old school, like, George Lucas mindset too. They made Baby Yoda, and no, yes, I know his real name. No, it doesn't matter. They made Baby Yoda, and they were like, money, toy, buy, and that's all they. And that's how George Lucas made the first Star Wars. He was a toy man.
Yeah, he was like, give me some cute shit that I can sell. But that's also a thing that people aren't thinking about, really. I mean, if Disney kept that mindset up and they were like, hey, let's, for all our children's movies, let's put in fucking cute shit that we can market and sell as toys to the children, that would probably do them a lot better. I don't know. Art is in a scary place, and it's going to take the next probably 10, 15 years before we really start cranking out some truly, really good shit. If you want to see some really good, like, properly good movies, you have to look outside of American cinema. You have to look at things like Korea with Parasite. Europe makes some good movies nowadays. We have to get out of our own ass to find the good shit anymore, because the industry of filmmaking has become so obsessed with profitability that they don't make scary choices anymore.
Or support smaller studios.
A24,
Bloomhouse. They're doing great stuff. We will be doing another episode quickly. It won't be very long. For Wicked, which is, again, not an original concept. It was a book, then it was a play, and now it's a movie. But yeah, at least it's not a remake of another movie. So that's coming up next. Thanks for joining us for this bonus episode, which was just a lot of James and I on a soapbox. But we hope you appreciated it, and we will see you for more of our standard fare, formulaic content next time. Thanks to you, all of those of you who are joining us live.
Wicked is rated 7.5 on IMDb. It's almost as good as Lilo and Stitch.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Okay.
So, thank you all for joining us live. We will be watching that this week and hopefully recording Sunday, all things staying on course. Thanks for joining us for this random one. It's fun to do one like that literally just came out. I don't think we've ever done that before. No. Typically because we like to take notes and really talk about stuff while it's happening. But
speaking of Snow White briefly, have you seen some of the flack coming out from the little people community?
I sent you the TikTok. Are you talking about
Hornswoggle?
Yeah, he freaking hates Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, Brad's not happy either.
No, Brad talked about it too.
Listen, Peter Dinklage did what he thought was going to be standing up for his
He did what he thought was right. But he
also was wrong, but he did what he thought was right.
He tried to do it from like an egotistical place, almost, and like a little bit narcissistic. Like he was like, I'm going to be the chosen one to lead my people into the new era. And then he
cost a bunch of little people jobs.
And he also ruined the Snow White movie single-handedly.
Peter Dinklage has an incredible body of work, but he's also in the world's most offensive dwarf movie. and Brad talks about it. God, I can't remember what it is.
I don't know.
The they get a guy who's not a little person to play a little person on his knees. I think it's Gary Oldman. And they tie his elbows back so his arms are short too. And Peter Dinklage was in that movie.
I don't know how to process
I'll find it for you.
any of that. I'm good. I believe you.
It's fucked up.
I believe you. I'm good. Yeah, no, I think the Snow White issues that came with, oh, we're not going to do dwarves because that's offensive, so we're going to do Snow White, and it was just going to be the Snow White movie, and they were going to be 7 like magical beings, was I think what they were called.
Yep.
And then everyone got on their fucking high horse about that, and this was everyone was like, well, it's also offensive if you just erase that whole culture. Like, it's not, we're not talking about like this whole thing. It was a whole discourse that happened. And then Peter Dinklage got on the opposite side and was like, well, actually, making them dwarves and then hiring the little person community to play them is actually even more offensive. And so then we got these CGI's nightmares. It's been a whole fucking time.
Tiptoes. It's called Tiptoes.
Yeah. It was a lot. The reason Hugh Grant's in the mud is because he played the Oompa Loompa in Wonka. That's the only reason that's been in the discourse of all this, because that movie came out while this was all going on. So yeah, it's not our fight, but it is happening, and it's interesting to watch the drama in something that we have 0 stakes in. But yeah, that's the whole drama about the Snow White movie remake. Honestly, looking back, that Snow White and the 7 magical beings might have been actually more fire than what we got, because
did they CG these dwarves?
They're all CGI'd.
Ugh.
And they're terrifying to look at. If we watch that movie, it'll be great content. It'll be better than even this Lilo and Stitch episode. But
I don't want to. I don't want to. Don't make me.
I will say, Rachel Ziegler's song, I have it on Spotify. It's her OG song that I think it's Waiting on a Wish or something like that. Really good.
I heard they make Gal Gadot sing.
They do, and it's bad. It's real, man. It's real bad. Anyways.
Yikes.